You just do your quiz on your own. Okay. Now, this example that I'm doing right here goes with numbers 2 and number 3 on the quiz. I've got the formulas up here again laid out for you, what you use for each part. I'm doing this example that was number 16 from your chapter 8 review using that formula. Okay. So my arc measure goes over 360, so I have 85 over 360, and then 2 times pi times the radius it told me in the problem was 4 feet. Okay, this is similar to what you would do for number 2. Okay, this is like number 2. All right, I try to simplify this. Okay, I look for things that go into both 85 and 360, which I know 5 goes into both of them. 5 goes into 85 17 times. 360 divided by 5 is 72. All I did was I reduced both of those by 5. Then over here, 2 times 4 is 8 pi. Now you'll notice when I rewrote this, I wrote it up higher because those are things that would be like in the top. So it would be like over 1 because I've got a fraction times a constant. You can write the other one as a fraction by putting it over 1. Okay, so I put it over 1. I'll look for things that can cross cancel, especially if I don't have a calculator to use. So 8 goes into itself 1 time, 8 goes into 72 9 times. So my length will be 17 pi over 9, and then it was feet because that's the unit that was on the radius. So when you were doing arc length, if you remember, a lot of times when we did these in the class, you end up with these fraction things. Okay? So it's 17 pi over 9 feet. So that's similar to what you will get for number 2. You should have an answer that looks something like that for number 2 on the quiz. Okay? Now, the next thing it wanted was the perimeter. Perimeter is equal to the length of the arc, which we just found, and 2 times the radius added together. So this is like 3b. Okay, this part's like 3b, finding the perimeter. My perimeter is equal to my arc length, 17 pi over 9, plus 2 times my radius, which was 4. So you simplify, 2 times 4 is 8. So I have 17 pi over 9 plus 8 feet. And a lot of times they may put parentheses around there to show that the feet goes with both of them. I really don't care as long as it's on there. Remember, you always need to put units on your answer. So that's all you do for the perimeter part. So that's how easy it's going to be on 3B on the quiz. Okay? Now, for 3A on the quiz, it was a little bit different because we were working backwards, correct? On that one, we were working backwards. It gave us the arc length, and we had to go backwards. Okay? Let's see. One of those. Okay. So let's say, let's say our arc length is, what is that? 3 pi over 2 inches, and The radius was 1 inch. Okay, let's do that one word backwards. So this will be like 3A. Okay, the one I'm doing now is like 3A. Okay, so I'm still using this same formula. This time, however, though, I'm trying to find the arc or the angle measure, which that's what you're doing on 3A. So my length goes in here, so I have 3 pi over 2 is equal to theta over 360 times 2 times pi times my radius, which was 1. So now I got to start trying to simplify. So I have 3 pi over 2 is equal to theta over 360 times, remember this is going to be in the top over 1, I'll write it as a fraction, 2 times 1 is 2 pi. So I'll look for something I can simplify first. Can 2 go into 360? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yes, 2 goes into 360, right? So I have 3 pi over 2 equals theta times pi, because I still have those left in the top, over 2 went into 360 180 times. Remember, 360 is your full circle, so half of it is a semicircle, 180 degrees. Now, our goal is to get the theta by itself. So to get the theta, the angle by itself, I have to get rid of the pi and the 180. If I have a fraction to make it go away in the equation, I multiply by its reciprocal. I flip it over. So I'm going to multiply by 180 over pi on both sides of my equation. Because whatever I do on one side of the equation, I do to the other. So on both sides, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. The reason I do that, because the 180s will cancel out, and the pi's will cancel out, and I'm left with theta, which represents my angle or arc length, which is what we're looking for. That's like our variable. That's just like if we were getting x by itself. That's what that represents. Here, pi's cancel. 2 goes into 180 how many times? What's half of 180?
90.
90. So I have 90 times 3 is 270. So my angle would have been 270 degrees. So this right here is like what you do for 3A. Okay. So we have that. Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit. I want to talk about something on number 4 because almost every single one of you who did number 4 missed it. And then any other questions that you had over the stuff we did yesterday, and you'll go and you'll finish these. Okay. All right, so for number 4, I drew the picture up here that you have on the quiz. You have a quadrilateral inside of the circle, okay? It wants to know the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 2. Angle 1 and angle 2 are a special type of angle because their vertex is on the circle. So are they central or inscribed? I'll give you 2 choices, central or inscribed. Inscribed angles. So if it's an inscribed angle, it's equal to half of the arc that it intercepts. So what I do is I extend the lines of my angle. Here's angle 1. That's the first thing it wanted me to find. So I'm extending that out so I can see what arc it cuts off. So from here all the way around the circle to here is the arc that it intercepts. Okay? So angle 1 is equal to half of that arc. So what do I have to do with these two pieces though?
Adam.
Add them together. So for the measure of angle 1, you will have half of those two things added together, okay? Now, angle 2 is the same concept. Angle 2 is going down this way, so it's going to be all of the arc from here all the way around to here, right? It's all this side. Now, to find this side, I'll have to remember what's an entire circle.
260.
So first I'll have to take 360 minus what this part was. And then for angle 2, I will take half of that answer for my measure of angle 2. So that's what you were supposed to have done for number 4. Okay? So you have 360. My marker's dying. Now 360 minus whatever you got when you added the two other arcs together. That's this arc. And then measure of angle 2 is half of whatever that was. Whatever that's equal to, that goes in there. Okay? So that's for number 4. So hopefully everybody should at least be able to attempt number 2, 3, and 4 now. Now, I went over stuff that you needed for 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 yesterday. Now, if you weren't here yesterday or you didn't get them written down, I still have that up on the board. Some of you were still having a little bit of trouble with that. So I'm going to kind of talk about that a little bit more. And then, does everybody have this part down there that they need for these problems? If you don't have it down, you need to speak up before I roll the computer over.
I do, I got it.
Okay. Because I'm going to roll the computer over. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I talked about yesterday, so everybody can work on getting this finished up today, okay? Everybody ready? We're rolling. We're rolling. We're rolling. Okay. Everybody got it? All right. So for what we were talking about yesterday, with these angles and stuff, for number 1, I'm gonna scoot closer. Okay, for number 1, it said find each arc measure. So for part A and part B, part A on number 1 was similar to what we just talked about on number 4. If I want to find the entire arc, I have to add the two pieces together. So that's all you had to do for part A, which most of you who turned in your answers did part A correctly. Okay? Most of you who did your answers did part A correctly. All right? Now, oh, where'd you go? Lord help me. Are y'all there? Okay, I don't know what it did. It just went by. Okay, put your back. All right, so on number 1 for part A, you do like I just talked about on number 4. You just add the two parts of the arc together to get the entire arc from X to Z. Part B, it wants to know the measure of the angle for arc XZY. So like on this picture, if I was doing XZY, like it's like going from here all the way around to here. Okay, so it's almost the entire circle when it's going around from X through Z down to Y, down at the bottom. Okay, you're going all the way around, similar to this. So if I wanted to know how much that arc was, what's the entire circle equal to?
360.
360. So if I took 360 minus what this one was, 70, that would tell me what all that was. So that's similar to what you have to do on part B. And then part C, nobody should miss that one because a central angle is the exact same measure as the arc that it intercepts. So it gives you the angle measure on the picture. The arc measure on the picture, the angle measure is going to be the same. Number 2, we went over how to do that, and I did an example of that. Number 3, we went over how to do that in the examples. Number 4, I already went over those. Number 5, it's using this stuff again. Remember, if it's an inscribed angle, like we talked about on number 4, it's equal to half the arc it intercepts. So you look at the picture. For part A, it's talking about angle LKJ. So on your picture, LKJ kind of goes up like, I don't remember. But anyway, LKJ kind of goes up like this. So its arc that it intercepts is this big part down here. It tells you on the picture how much that arc is. That number's on there. So it's half of whatever that number is, gives you the angle measure. Okay, and I still had a lot of you miss that one. It's an inscribed angle, so it's equal to half of that arc. On part B, it's wanting the arc. The arc is opposite of an inscribed angle, so you take the angle and multiply it by 2. If the angle is half of the arc is twice the angle. So on part B, you look at the angle and you multiply it by 2 to get the arc measurement. On part C, it's going back to get the angle, so it's half of the arc measurement again. And then on part D, you're looking for the angle that's inside. It makes a triangle on there. So you already have the other 2 angles from previous answers. So what do all the angles in a triangle have to add to equal?
180.
180. So you add the other 2 angles that you already have from previous answers, part A and part C. You'll add those together and subtract from 180 to find part B. So that was for number 5. Number 6, the angle that you're looking for is inside the picture. So if it's inside, it's half the sum of the 2 arcs that it intercepts. So it's like this one. You take these 2 arcs, you add them together and divide it in half, and that gives you your angle. That's exactly what you do on number 6. On number 7, you're looking for an arc that was missing. So on number 7, it is like this right here. This right here is like number 7, okay? It gives you the big arc that it intercepts. In the picture, you're looking for the little arc, and it gives you the angle. So I have 1/2 big arc minus what I'm looking for equals the angle it gave me. And then you have to work it out. So this is like what you have to do on number 7. Number 8 is just an inscribed angle, so it's half of the arc that it intercepts. Part B, all of an entire circle adds to equal what again? The entire circle adds to equal 360. So you add the 3 arcs that you have and subtract it from 360, and that's how you find part B on number 8. And then number 9, both parts are using this right here. It's an exterior angle, so it's equal to half the difference of the intercepted arcs. So you find the arcs that it intercepts, the angle cuts off in the picture, and you take half of it. So your picture is kind of similar to this, it's just flip-flop the other direction. The angle's over on this side. But it's half of the arcs that it cuts off. Okay. So again, this is exactly like what you need for number 7. We talk more on the others, what you need to do. Does anybody need to see any of this stuff that's still on the board again to get it written down? Are we good? Okay. So what do I want you to try to do?
All the problems.
Okay. I want you to finish your quiz. Okay. Now, you also need to make sure I have, some of you have sent me pictures of your bookwork, which was very good. Some of you haven't. Some of you sent me pictures of the arcs and angles worksheet. Remember that was from like a week and a half ago. A lot of you haven't. So if you still have that worksheet too, you need to make sure that worksheet's finished. And you need to make sure your chapter 8 review, the green pages, 1 through 32. Like we did 1 through 9 together. I did 16 as an example today. But 1 through 32 and then 36 through 42. Try to do those. Tomorrow we'll spend some time. We'll review some more so you can take your actual test over this. Now, there's a quiz over section 8.7. The quiz over section 8.7 is 4 questions, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and email it to you today. If you wanna go ahead and try to do it today, that's great. If you wanna wait till we review more tomorrow, that's fine too, okay? So I'm not saying it has to be done today. I'm just gonna go ahead and email it to you today. So if you're capable of wanting to print it out, if that's easier for you to have it printed out when we're talking about it, then that way you have time to do that before we talk about it tomorrow. Okay?
Okay.
Everybody with me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, I'm not having to fuss at Euro's class as much as the others that I've had this morning, because most of you all are pretty good about logging on. Some of you just aren't very good about having where I can see you on your camera or logging in on time.
That's not me.
I don't know, you know, since I just look at your dog the entire class period every day. I told you I like dogs, but still. Anyway, so most of y'all do a little bit better about that. But the biggest thing that I need you all to do is, if you are capable of sending me pictures of the work, try to do that. If not, then we'll work something else out. But some of you all are not checking your messages in My School Works. Okay, I've already talked to you all. Does anybody remember how many times I told you you need to try to check it a day?
Like 3 times.
Like 3 times, good. I would do it first thing in the morning before I logged into any of my Zoom lessons. I would do it like, you know, after lunch, and then maybe in the evening or right before I eat dinner or something, okay? As much as you all get on Facebook and all that other stuff, asking you to log into My School Works 3 times is not that much.
I don't have social media, miss.
Well, then you have no excuse.
You're such a liar.
Nice, Pedro.
So you all know you spend a lot of time looking at plenty of other stuff online. You can look at My School Works, where it has your lessons, where it has when quizzes are, when tests are. Some of these things I'm sending you, like, I may send you notes, I may send you stuff. So please check it. I may send you reminders about quizzes and stuff. So please make sure you check that. How many times a day?
3.
3 times a day. I've got marker all over my finger, sorry. I just realized how ugly they look up there. But anyway, 3 times a day, okay?
Okay.
Please.
Yes, ma'am.
What does everybody need to try to work on finishing today?
Nothing.
Quiz.
The quiz 2-3, okay? I emailed them to you as an attachment yesterday afternoon. You can either, if you print it out and you do your work on there, just send me pictures of the work. If you want to just send me your answers, like some of you did yesterday for 1, 4, and 5, do that. I graded all those answers that people sent me. If you want to go back and try to fix 1, 4, and 5, if you think from what I talked about, especially for number 4, now that you know that you did it wrong, if you want to fix those, then I'll go back and I'll regrade those. Just send the new answers when you send your other stuff today. Okay? So everybody knows they need to do that sometime today. Okay? No time frame, just as long as I get it today, not tomorrow morning.
I'll try, miss. I'm too busy.
Okay? today. And then, like I said, I'll go ahead and send the other quiz. So if you want to print it out, you'll have it when we're talking tomorrow. But that's up to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you supposed to work on finishing though? Quiz,
Quiz.
the green pages review, and arcs and angles worksheet.
The yellow pages.
Okay?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye,
See you
miss.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
You too. I see you instead of the dog.